I'm all messed up today. All right. Hey, everybody. We are live. Today is a New Truth Tuesday. I'm running late today. I apologize. It is all my fault. And Satoshi Sean has been waiting patiently for me. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you guys. I don't know what's happening. Something's wrong with one of the streams again. They're finally talking about the solar flares. We'll get into that and how NASA's pissing off the Navajos. That's what I should have named this right after this. Hey, Sean.
NASA v. the Navajos.
NASA is
this Sunday. NASA versus the Navajo.
NASA in one corner and the Navajos in the other. So I've been following a lot of, there's been in Oklahoma, there's been, of course, we were following that. You and I talked about it several times because I was like, there's a there with that McGirt case. Then there's been an update on it. There was an update. It got repealed or pulled back in Colorado. Then there's been another update. I think that's one that I sent you, the most recent update on. Didn't I send that to you? No, I did not.
No, you sent me a lot of stuff on the engines.
I'm sorry. I meant to
ones that are it's weird. The things that are happening at the same time all over having to do with Indians and Indian.
Yeah, it is. Our latest treasurer is Native American as well. Where is it? I'm sorry. Why can I not find it? I just shared it. Okay, here it is. It's the Hooper versus Tulsa case. I'm on the wrong tab. I'm just sharing this behind the scenes. Hold on, let me jump in. Am I live? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, nobody was in the chat there. That was weird.
Yeah, that is weird. But my friend was saying, she's like, I lost your stream. She goes, I know I was following you, but I'm unable to find. She goes, I can't even find your channel anymore. So I'm sure it's very difficult to find me. So I'm pretty sure people are not getting their notifications. She got unsubscribed from my channel on YouTube. It says 9 people are watching. Just they're shy. I guess. Tom's there.
Hey, Tom.
Hi. So this is the latest update on 2 large Oklahoma tribes applaud the dismissal of the Hooper versus Tulsa case by the U.S. District Court. And the head of the Cherokee tribe did make a statement on this as well. Federal district judge on Friday, December 15th, dismissed the Hooper v. Tulsa case, stating that the city does not have jurisdiction over municipal violations committed by tribal citizens. Judge William Johnson for the U.S. District Court for Northern District of Oklahoma stated in his ruling, Tulsa no longer has jurisdiction over municipal violations committed by its Indian inhabitants. The case involved Justin Hooper, a tribal citizen of the Choctaw Nation who resides in the city of Tulsa. In 2018, Hooper was issued a speeding ticket by Tulsa police, which resulted in a $150 fine imposed by Tulsa Municipal Criminal Court. In 2020, through the U.S. Supreme Court's McGirt versus Oklahoma decision, ruled that a large swath of northeastern Oklahoma was still an Indian reservation, putting some rulings into question. Friday's ruling comes on the heels of a decision by the 10th Court in Denver that reversed the district court's ruling on the case in June. On Friday, the Cherokee Nation Principal Chief Chuck Hoskins Jr. issued a statement on the Cherokee's Facebook page. He says, this summer, the 10th Circuit Hooper v. City of Tulsa ruling upheld settled federal law, reaffirming that states and municipalities do not have criminal jurisdiction over tribal citizens on tribal land. The decision rejected to upend these legal principles by turning to defunct territorial provisions of the Curtis Act. With this case now dismissed, the Cherokee Nation continues to support collaborative approaches on public safety that respect rather than attack tribal sovereignty. And then let's see, this is the Muskogee Nation principal chief. He said, "We applaud the decision of the court to uphold the law and dismiss the frivolous case. Parties behind these politically driven cases are working to make our state less safe. The McGirt decision means more police, more courts, and prosecutors working to keep our communities peaceful." Oklahomans deserve that. That's why we have been asking Congress to pass legislation to fully empower tribes to prosecute anyone who violates the law on our reservations and to enhance the ability of the
Why do
tribes.
they need permission to prosecute people that can break the law on their?
Yeah, this is kind of confusing to me. The way he said that kind of confused me. So let me read that part again. The McGirt decision means more police, courts, and prosecutors working to keep our communities peaceful. But I thought
They could police their own.
Oklahomans deserve that. That's why we have been asking Congress to pass legislation to fully empower tribes to prosecute anyone who violates the law on our reservations. So that's the part that I think is what's powerful, is asking Congress to pass legislation to fully empower tribes to prosecute anyone.
I think there's so much there I don't understand. This is what I thought it said in the beginning.
Okay.
An Indian person got a ticket for $150, and he said, "You can't give me a ticket. I'm an Indian.
I'm an Indian on Indian land, and you municipal person gave me a ticket."
He was in the town, but the town part he was in technically was part of the reservation.
The reservation.
It was still a municipality.
Right.
So he said, even though I'm in the municipality, even though this is, whatever, this is like, bigger picture kind of stuff. This is still it's your town, but because I have Indian descent, you can't give me a ticket.
That's what
So that's what I thought. But I think that from the tribe's point of view, that technically means I can go onto their land and break the law, and I can tell them, you can't prosecute me because I'm not an Indian.
I think that's not what they're saying.
But I think that's what I'm getting from it, because it seems like they were like, hey, this person who was an Indian thought he could get away with a crime in the town by saying he was an Indian, and we're asking Congress to be able to punish people for breaking the law on our. So it seems like maybe they weren't allowed to prosecute non-Indians, and now
I think you're right.
Because of that case, now they can.
Now
if you break the law, period, you can get prosecuted no matter whether you're an Indian
so
or not.
now I think now the tribal nations can hold non-tribal people accountable, which goes in line with what I have been saying about the diamonds and the missing children and women, that I think, like, they found the cremation machines on Epstein Island, all that. Trump said, we're going to get the diamonds back. This goes in line with my, so there was a story recently. If you guys have been following me, I've been sharing all these stories. There was a story. I'm trying to keep the thread going so that everybody stays in line with what I'm thinking. There was a story also about in the last year, the most thousands of remains, Native American remains, were returned to Native Americans. Well, how were they? It doesn't say bones, it says remains. Now, the next story today. So keep in mind that now they have the with this case going this way, and what you and I are discussing, what we understand is now they empowers the tribes to prosecute anyone who violates the law on our reservations. This is what we're both taking away from this. This is our unlawful opinion. Now the things are in place to hold these people accountable for possibly, allegedly, the missing women and children who may or may not have been put in ovens, and who knows what happened, and maybe they were turned into diamonds. This is allegedly.
Turned into diamonds?
Yes. Have you not been watching my show? I've been talking about this for weeks.
No, I have not.
Okay.
I've been dealing with Christmas and New Year's.
Okay. Well, There's more important things than Christmas. There's missing women and children, and I've been really passionate about it. Okay, so then okay, let me stay in thought of that. Okay, so then what was my next thing? Where was I going with that? Oh, the moon thing. Then the Navajo are very upset because the Navajo Nation objects to NASA sending remains to the moon. Why is NASA sending remains to the moon? Cremated remains. So that's how they were created. There's this whole thing where like they're like it's this new way to, oh, you can make your loved one that's dead into a diamond, and then you can put it in a pendant and wear it around. And like the Kardashians were like, oh, look, it's grandma, and now it's a diamond. And there's like all this stuff. It's like a whole trend. And anyway, I've been talking about it for.
I think what's the answer to your question? Why does NASA want to send cremated humans to the moon?
And whose cremated remains are they sending to the moon?
It's a valid. I mean, it's like the pinnacle of the
Why?
scientific community. What's the scientific reason?
So let's read this article real quick. The moon has long been revered by many Native American tribes. So when Navajo Nation President Negrin recently discovered that NASA is planning to launch a rocket headed to the moon in early January with cremated human remains to be placed there, he sent a letter to NASA and the U.S. Department of Transportation asking to delay the launch. It's crucial to emphasize that the moon holds a sacred position in many indigenous cultures, including ours. We view it as a part of our spiritual heritage, an object of reverence and respect. The act of depositing human remains and other materials which could be perceived as discards in any other location on the moon is tantamount to desecration of this sacred space.
Yeah.
NASA's planning on launching the Vulcan Centaur, carrying the Peregrine Mission 1 by Astrobotic Technologies on January 8th, 2024. Among 28 payloads are some Celeste and Elysium Space, companies known for providing memorial services by shipping human cremated remains. Sorry. Negrin has asked NASA and the Federal Transport Deep to consult with Navajo Nation before sending. Oh, Buttigieg is involved. That'll go well, I'm sure.
But still don't know why.
Yeah.
That's like millions of dollars. Why?
We believe. So who is this? Negrin in his letter. Who's Negrin? Let's see. Tribal Government Affairs. Orlando Teller. President Negrin asked what he called our deep concern and profound disappointment regarding a matter of utmost importance. Okay, so this is the Indian people are saying this is very important, and they sent a letter to Buttigieg and NASA Administrator Bill Nelson, and they asked for it to be delayed and immediate consultation. They say they should have engaged in a consultation before agreeing for some company that transport human remains to the moon or authorizing a launch to carry such payloads. He said the situation, which this goes back to jurisdiction again. Who owns the land? Who owns the moon? Who owns Oklahoma?
It's not allowed to be owned.
Okay, well,
there's a tree. There's a tree for that. Okay, but here's the thing.
It's not saying why or who.
I can understand why Elon Musk would do this. I can understand why you would do this. I can understand why I would do this. I want to make money and try to sell people tickets to put your loved one on the moon and make buttloads of money. But NASA isn't allowed to. It's just for science. There has to be, in order for them to do this and say we're going to spend like taxpayers' money here. Why? What's the scientific reason? There's nothing here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about we don't want them to because it's religion. But how do you? What started it? What was like? We want to do this. Know. That just okay. Now here's two things.
There's no reason. It says NASA has not responded. I mean, no reason mentioned in this article. I
hear what H. Ahan put down there. If you click that,
hold on, I can't see.
on the chat, and then you scroll up, and didn't you read it was Elysium?
Ah, one of the companies was, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Elysium is the floating station in the sky where all the elites live and have magical healthcare, uh, robots, and all this other stuff. And
Yeah, Celeste and Elysium Space.
have you ever, if you just watched the movie Elysium, it's a great sci-fi movie. Matt Damon. Um, it's the have and have nots. The have nots live in squalor on the planet, and the rich elite live up in Elysium. Um, this could be the beginning of that. Also, the first thing I thought of, I can't think of any scientific reason, and then I thought the only thing is to like a desecration or like I think like you'd have to go way back, like some kind of prophetic thing where the gods of old or evil gods, good whatever, say, hey, once you've come to the point, you can walk erect, and when you can deposit yourselves on the moon, then this will usher in this age. Or like this opens up stuff you got to just research the crap out of, because I can't see any scientific reason. It's all either like mystical stuff.
It's all woo woo. Yeah.
There's nothing.
That's crazy. Well, I knew, there's something else going on here. There's something with the missing women and children. There's something with the diamonds, the cremation, the whole story. There's something with the jurisdiction.
To see if the moon changes the cancer. I mean, there's nothing. I'm stretching my mind trying to think of some scientific reason.
How NASA could justify.
What started it? What person said, hey, let's do this, or hey, my research says we should try. I mean, there's, I don't understand that at all.
It's supposed to happen on January 8th, 2024. And those are like, let's see, January 8th, 2024. That's 8/8, January 8/8.
Computer.
Gematria.
What day is Epiphany?
Epiphany is observed on January 6th.
Okay.
What's Epiphany? I mean, I know what the word means, but is it like a holiday?
It's a holiday, but it's the day you take your Christmas tree down, your Christmas ornaments down.
Ah.
Because your Christmas lights and your tree, all that's supposed to represent the star that led that, and then the kings used the star and the light to go to Jesus, give him the gifts.
Mm-hmm.
So Epiphany is January 6th when they got there. So when they get there, they worship Jesus there in the manger, give him the gifts, and then they don't need the star, they don't need the light, so that's why everything comes down. It's just, that was what we're always was told growing up. That's when you leave, because everyone's like, how long do you leave your Christmas lights up? It was supposed to be to the 6th because that was Epiphany, but it's a holiday. And the brightest light in our sky, the brightest light in our sky is the moon. I don't know. I'm just stretching, trying to figure something out.
Well, there's also, there's a couple other things as far as like that might help be, something. There's this, okay, final, they've been talking about solar flares and we've been thinking the blackout, whatever. There is a couple hours ago, they said there was a huge solar energy burst that maybe sometime today. There's a 25% chance, which is a bigger chance sometime today that we could experience a disruption in GPS and
Lisa, you got a super
satellite.
chat.
Do what?
You got a super chat.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, how nice.
Shows on my channel after this. I come over. Yeah, I never got one.
Thank you, Rainey.
I think I got one for $5 once. That was it.
That's so nice. Well,
that was very nice.
Merry Christmas to you. That's so kind. I really appreciate that. That's really cool. Yeah, so that's a heads up for everybody.
The sun thing, no one's really talking about, and then it's like
there was one other.
Not a big deal. I mean, Those spots are huge.
Mm-hmm. This Google billion privacy lawsuit, 5 billion privacy lawsuit. Apparently they settled. There's some incognito mode or something you can put on your phone when you're searching,
Mhm.
and they were really still gathering people's information.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And so they got in trouble for that, and they did some settlement thing for $5 billion. So I don't know how you get your money out of that if you were using that, but
It's that because that's what I've always used.
oh,
I know it doesn't work, and it doesn't save stuff.
okay. There's one other date thing that I wanted to share that might be okay. Hold on. Where is it? It's around the J6 stuff, but there's another day coming up. Where is it? Where is it? Richard Branson's way bigger pervert than Epstein, just in case you guys were wondering.
He did name his company Virgin.
Mm-hmm. They said that Tim Burchett requested that all Dems return the stolen money donated to their party by FTX. That'll never happen, but you know. Oh, this is it. The Marines are doing that didn't have a date. They're doing some simulated training. That was something's in Oklahoma City. Oh, this was the other Indian thing. They are getting $27 million for tribal dam safety, water, sanitation, which I was like, dude, are the tribes in charge of the dams? That was the first time I had heard that.
I don't think they would be allowed to be.
Interior Department announces
for their own, like
$27 million for tribal dam safety, water, sanitation projects. Then it goes on and it talks about, oh, you're not seeing this, Chief. I'm sorry.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Are you seeing this?
Yeah, the picture of the dam. Maybe for water, but not for like power dams, man.
Well, hold on. High speed internet. Okay, where is it? Directly alone bipartisan infrastructure law alone invests $13 billion directly to American Indian, Alaskan Native tribal communities throughout the United States, including $250 million over 5 years for tribal dams and water projects. What?
Interesting.
What else don't we know?
I wonder if that is where the billionaires think they'll be safe when things hit the fan. Oh no, we're on tribal land. If they're trying to buy their way in or something, I don't. This doesn't.
Water sanitation system.
About all these people, you use them. You know, like really use them badly.
It's going to be for power and sanitation in Indian country.
Yeah.
Here it talks about $12 million in Oologah Dam on the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota, $10.3 in Miniger Dam on Tonaha Oda. I don't know how I say that. In southern Arizona, 4.38 for vital repairs and upgrades.
You know about the mysterious holes on the two Indian reservations? You know that show?
I saw a movie about it. Yeah,
show, the ranch with the big hole. That's based on these holes, which are insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's when something is insane and it's like well known, but it's even more like the Loch Ness monster or whatever. It's like so many people that it has to be real, but this is like
some of this has already happened. 19 million already invested in 22 and 23.
It's already like documented, and like the weird, crazy things that they've done and have seen. It's weird, really, really weird. But there's a message up because you said.
I think this was the other thing. Was the new Marines were moving? No, that's not till 2024. Or well, we are in 2024, but
yeah, we are. Yeah,
later. There was another date that I thought maybe had to do with the Indians. Oh, also the military, 231 military.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that on my channel.
Okay, we can talk about that on your channel.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, let's do that. How long have we been over here?
A half an hour.
25 minutes.
Yeah. Which means at least we're talking for like half an hour or 20 minutes before we start.
No, I know.
Yeah.
The dead clock message is messed up, is it? Let's check it out. Present, share screen. I will have to refresh because I haven't looked at it in a little while. Ponzi Scheme Awards, Charles Ponzi and Chairman Powell. Oh, so on the last day of business in 2023, they hit 34 trillion in debt. So that's, I think, why he got the award for Ponzi scheme. 34 trillion. Remember when 2 trillion? They were worried about 2 trillion.
I remember when it was 3 under Bush, maybe 4, and it was the end of the world because that was a different. Okay, like what's after a trillion? You know, gajillion that we're not even talking about. Let's say we hit a gajillion. It's like, oh my god, it's a gajillion. That's how it was when we were at 3 trillion. It's like a trillion is 1,000 billions, and a billion is 1,000 millions. They're like, this is some insane number that nobody will ever. And now we're talking about individuals becoming trillionaires. So, and I remember I was listening to Rush Limbaugh. I thought, well, the financial advisor driving around listening to the AM radio talk shows, and he was like, "What's the worst thing happened? Come on, it's $3 trillion. What we print up $3 trillion, hurt the dollar a little bit, and we get rid of it. It's clear it out. It's no big deal." Because we're talking about like it was one of the Gulf Wars or something. We're spending too much on military, and he was just like, "Just print some money up, man. The devaluation's like not going to be anything. It's $3 trillion. Yeah, it's a huge amount. It's crazy, but in the grand scheme of things," and he was right though. He was 100% right. If we would have just done that, then printed the money up, put ourselves in a massive recession, eggs would have been $1. Or some crazy thing. That's would have went up to $1.80. But and then we're like hurt our economy, but then started off clean. We're at 0. We're gonna balance things, and we're gonna do it right now. Should have done that. We really should have done that.
Well, we had a chance. Now we're gonna have to do it the hard way.
That's when we had the gold, and it was worth more. That's when China didn't have the gold, Russia didn't have the gold. We still had it all. Yeah. All right.
It's going to be interesting. Well, let's jump over. I want to talk about what's going on with the military. It sounds like they've had enough as well. So let's go.
Yeah. Well, they've always have, but this is different now. It's a little bit different.
It's a big deal different. I mean, these are big voices in the military saying
there's big voices and huge voices, but these are a lot of active duty, which has not happened before. Which that is, and there's just you read the comments like hell yeah, and then I forget, it was like Loyal Democrat was one of them, and he was like they should all be court-martialed. It's lines are being drawn, man. Love y'all. See you over there. Remember,
all right, we'll see you guys over on Sean's channel. There's a link in the description. Check that out and all the other links. Give me a like on the way out the door and make sure you're subscribed. And thanks again, Rainey. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas.